Well, what has become a case this season of the best of enemies for the third time in 8 weeks? Leinster and the Glasgow Warriors set to collide with a season's work on the line here today. For the victors, there will be a shot at the URC title. For the vanquished, there will be no tomorrow, no silverware, and a long summer to deal with the aftermath. An overcast afternoon in Dublin. Perfect playing conditions. Leo Cullen goes with 12 of the 15 that started against the Scarlets. In the pack, Dan Sheehan comes in with Ronan Kelleher on the bench. Scott Penny replaces the injured Josh van der Fleer in the back row, joining Ryan Baird and Jack Conan behind an unchanged half-back partnership of Gibson Park and Prendergast. Jamie Osborne again alongside Geordie Barris in the continuing absences of Ringrose and Henshaw. Tommy O'Brien returns in the back three as Jimmy O'Brien moves to full-back, deputising for the injured Hugo Keenan. And the more orthodox 5-3 split on the bench today. But Franco Smith up front remains without the considerable presences of the Fagersons and Jack Dempsey, but can still call on the likes of the Lions selected Scott Cummings in the second row, and in the back row the ultra-consistent Rory Darge, Ewan Ferry and the forceful Henko Venter, who marked his return from a 6-week ban with a try against the Stormers. Adam Hastings started both earlier games at Leinster at 10 and does so again here with Tom Jordan moved to 12 today off the back of a 5-star showing against the Stormers. Sione Tuipulotu impressed in the round 18 loss here before departing at half-time. And in the back three, those dangerous runners, Mackay, Stain and Rowe. 6 forwards on the Glasgow Warriors bench. And for some heavy hitters, not just a case of watching on today, Keenan, Furlong, the captain Caelan Doris, amongst those that not available for Leo Cullen, but that is why you have that squad. This is the stage where after 4 league titles on the bounce, Leinster have faltered 3 straight semi-finals, 3 times out on the wrong side of the results. As for the Warriors, embarrassed here in the Champions Cup, honour restored to a degree here in the final round of the regular league season, albeit in defeat as they ended losing their last 3, and with it, home advantage. Both they've arrived in Dublin on the up after a terrific quarter-final showing against the Stormers. A title defence remains on. And since the URC came into being, no side has successfully defended this trophy. So here come the two combatants. The early thoughts of Donal Lenihan.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. I don't know whether I was fortunate or unfortunate. I didn't get to see the Scarlets game last week, but by all accounts it was a pretty grim affair. I have to say, for a URC semi-final, the atmosphere building up to the game was really quiet. I think the mind games have started already. Franco Smith, interestingly, in his interview there, talking about the pressure Leinster are under to get this done. He's obviously trying to transfer that pressure to the boys in blue. It'll be interesting, given the couple of weeks they've had, just how they start this game. And no doubt Glasgow, they're familiar with the surroundings, they're familiar with the opposition, and I think they'll be formidable opposition here today.
Andrea Piardi is our referee, took charge of the quarter-final meeting at the RDS between these two back in 2022. 76-14 as Leinster ran in 12 tries in a dominant performance. Leinster favourites today, but favourites under pressure. And the Warriors, well, they're leaning on last season's knockout heroics. Like last season, they beat the Stormers at home in the last 8 and went on to win in Limerick and Pretoria. The elephant in the room for them today, as Murray mentioned earlier, the meagre return of 5 points in 2 games here against Leinster. How clinical can they be today? The first chance for Leinster, the early penalty, and Sam Prendergast not looking for 3 points. Leinster looking for a strong start as they got here against the Scarlets last week. Yeah,
the perfect start for Leinster. Kickoff looked a little bit deep initially, but the chase was good. Tommy O'Brien, Jamie Osborne working to create that turnover penalty. No surprise for me that Leinster have gone to the corner this early in the game.
From watching their lineup warm-ups, no guess as to where this might go. Ryan Baird is the one who takes it. Good initial defensive effort from the Warriors. Dan Sheehan, the always dangerous Dan Sheehan, hands on the ball at the back, clearing around the corner. Darge, it's 2 hands wrapped around him. Here is Tommy O'Brien. Happy knack of tries scored against Glasgow. Geordie Barris, straight into Tom Jordan.
Leave.
Gibson Park
in the way.
Appeals to the referee for a penalty. None this time. James Ryan carries. Gibson Park again. Lovely flat pass that for Sheehan. Alex Samuel, the second row, with his first tackle of what will be many today. Ball presented by Ryan Baird. Gibson Park keeping it tight with the forwards for now. Glasgow managed to slow it down.
They come back, play on.
Gibson Park going a bit wider this time through Prendergast, and here's Ginny O'Brien. Leinster a couple of metres out, and they go to Sheehan. Big double hit coming in.
Hands in the way.
Hiddleston and Cummings. Gibson Park once more. Scott Penny looking to make use of his chance to start today. Osborne. Jordan leads the defensive efforts. The Warriors holding out. Gibson Park again for Sheehan. Fenter. Aggressive operator in that 8 jersey. Short pass for Baird. Try to get it away to Osborne. Really good defensive set so far from the Warriors. Tommy O'Brien steps in. Conan now.
Advantage offside, never
one back on the
onside.
inside for Barrett. A metre out Leinster. Can they strike early? The pass for Sheehan was superb. And Dan Sheehan in yet again, his 44th Leinster try. 8th for the season, scored yet again. And that was a marvellous pass, and the easiest of finishes in the end for Dan Sheehan.
Yeah, perfect start for Leinster. Great patience under pressure. The defence initially by Glasgow superb, but that's what Gibson Park brings. Great vision, great inside line from Dan Sheehan. You just can't stop him scoring at the moment. Super start by Leinster.
That's it.
And for Sam Prendergast, what looks a fairly straightforward one to start with here, to give Leinster the early 7-point return. The hush descends. Prendergast hits the post. Bernard, I guess no questioning talent or ability in terms of Leinster coming into this, more a case of form and confidence. A start like that is such a positive for them.
Yeah, and the fairness to Sheehan, we can't question his form or confidence all year. He was brilliant off the bench last week.
Line out, and it's Samuel who's up, and Hiddleston gets it moving on through Horn, through the fingertips of Tui Pilotu. Very happy that on we go. Horn again. Here is Cummings, one of the 4 Lions players selected from the Glasgow Warriors. Horn. Short one that time to Richardson. Leinster with strong midfield defence. Horn again. Worked on by Hastings. Lovely pass long out to the left-hand side. And a little bit of a chance here now. It's Kyle Rowe up and running. The kick back on the inside. And there is George Horn where you'd expect him to be. Magnificent response. Glasgow Warriors top try scorer George Horn in for his 14th of the season. The first time they've had the ball in their hands, went wide and reaped the ultimate reward.
Yeah, that's outstanding response from Glasgow. Just look at the width. Great pass from Tui Pilato. Once Steen gets in behind here, that chip, George Horn has just made a feature throughout his career of scoring tries like that. Always in the right place at the right time. Super kick on the inside, great support, and already Glasgow have found that seam outside 5-metre channel. We've seen so many teams exploit that against Leinster over the past couple of weeks. What a response by Glasgow.
Yeah, and we spoke about Leinster's confidence. Leinster's lack of confidence in their defence. He just got exposed after 5 minutes. A brilliant play by Glasgow. I know the first part of it didn't work out properly, but they played the exact pattern that you should play against this Leinster defence, where you play like a zigzag pattern, you bounce back right, back left, and eventually shorten that edge on the far side, and then they execute. And we know this is a team with lots of pace. There's question marks about Leinster's pace, particularly with Hugh Keenan out, and he just got exposed there on the left edge.
Well, there have a few kicking options. George Horn is the one who took it there but missed it, so 7 points to 5. Let's head down to Murray Kinsella.
Rip-roaring start, absolute pace of the game is unbelievable, and Leinster, you thought it made a perfect start.
Sheehan, the throw over the line out to the advancing Geordie Barrett. Gibson Park, Baird, and here is Sheehan loitering with intent. Got one already. Gibson Park, short to James Ryan.
Who's back?
It's 11 games for returning against Zebra, so
okay.
you feel he's got that freshness at the crucial point of the season. Ryan, short again, and Scott Penny.
Ruled out. James Rose in front.
And some afters here. Slow got up and shoved Cummings, and a few bodies waiting in now.
Yeah, great to see that Lions get together work so well a couple of weeks ago. That's James Lowe bundling his future Lions colleague Scott Cummings out of the way. No harm. Game probably needs a bit of a spark.
Prendergast, Barrett, Tommy O'Brien
Keep it up
towards
guys,
that far
up.
side.
Work hard,
the call
work hard.
here.
Advantage,
Going
one
at the back,
down.
Leinster with advantage. Gibson
Under
Park
pressure.
on by Prendergast. Here's Jordy Barrett. Tommy O'Brien just had to reach back for the pass. Gibson Park again. Prendergast. James Ryan. Tackle from Richardson.
Quello è buono,
Put him down
Matteo,
early.
Niente di pericoloso.
Baird.
Ok.
He's become an 80-minute man late in the season for Leinster. Prendergast. A little dink over the top, and the race is on here. And great cover from
No
Hastings.
advantage.
Yeah, good cover, but Leinster were playing with that penalty advantage. All goes back to the scrum. We've only had two, but even from the initial one, I felt
This is
Andrew
the right mark.
Porter was
One
getting
under
pressure.
pressure,
Just watch
collapse.
it here.
On my
Richardson.
side.
Yeah, Richardson going straight to ground there. Leinster could play from there. Just this pass from Jordy
Postcode,
Barrett.
60 seconds now.
Just Tommy O'Brien just overruns it slightly. Has to check himself.
Blocking everything out, and for a kicker, it's nice to have a couple of easy ones to start with. So Leinster by 10 points to 5.
Yeah, I think good reaction from Leinster from seeing that try.
Work done by Richardson.
Take her now away, free.
Hard and frequent. This one a little untidy. Horn. Gets it away to Hiddleston. Horn again,
back.
looking to get this dangerous backline going. Tui
Knock on
Pelottu with the no-look
advantage.
pass. Leinster
Advantage
have
over.
it back again, and now the kick and chase. And Tommy O'Brien. This will break for Gibson Park, and Jamie Osborne's gone under the post here. Low coming from the Glasgow Warriors, looking to work something with a short pass from Tui Pelottu in midfield. Josh Mackay was in the ear, the referee saying it was forward.
Forward pass by number 9 blue.
So we're checking a possible forward pass by number 9 blue, leading
This
to
is
the
an
try.
important call now. If this is ruled out, it's a big chance missed for Leinster.
That's definitely forward out of the hands.
Huh? Yes, he leaves the hands forward for me. Gigi? Can we use again this picture, Matteo, please? The last angle of
The last one.
Yes, the last one.
This one.
Guys, he leaves the hands forward. Yes, he
There
leaves
was
the
a
hands
case
forward.
of the referee not doing Gibson Park any favours there.
Jack, I have the chisel, guys. Jack, clearly out of the hand forward, so we disallow the try. We come back with the scrum, Glasgow ball.
So for the second time in
No
the half,
try.
Leinster with a try
Forward
ruled
pass.
out.
Set!
George Horn, you can see
Use
he's
it,
keen to
nine.
get that ball in and out. Knowing they've had a
Take him
little
back.
bit of pressure coming on them in the scrums. Hastings stepping back on the inside, where Leinster have cover in the form of Jack Conan.
Use it!
Dug out by Horn. Here's Richardson.
Use it!
Rory Darge just clearing Joe McCarthy to give his scrum half a pat to the ball. And up goes the kick again. Stain has been strong in these, but Lowe gets up early this time. Bats it back to Jimmy O'Brien. Again, first instinct from O'Brien to see if he can punch a hole, find a gap. Gibson Park bypasses Porter. Quick hands from Leinster. James Lowe out the back for Jamie Osborne, and he's in the corner. That is magnificent. Stunning try from Leinster, who put the disappointment of that one ruled out quickly behind them.
Yeah, that's exactly what you expect from Leinster. Much better hands, brilliant again in the air. James Lowe started it off at that competition for the ball, but it's just take and give a pass. Brilliant pass out the back. Jimmy Osborne denied a couple of minutes ago. Wasn't going to happen again, but superb response and skill set from Leinster.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do on kick counter attack. Open up a blind side, overload with all your backs, and they sent it forward in on a decoy runner, and that just tightened up that Glasgow defence. Great hands from Barrett and a beautiful offload from Lowe. But it's getting 4 or 5 backs together down a short space of the pitch and actually go at a undermanned Glasgow defence like they did there. It's perfect.
First tester for Prendergast, sets it out right, doesn't come back in. But for Jamie Osborne, no Henshaw, no Ringrose. What a player to bring in, and what is an impact he's made, particularly late in the season. Try score round 16, a brace in round 17, try score in the quarterfinals against the Scarlets, and now in the semi-finals against the Glasgow Warriors. They're on the back foot again here, Dan Sheehan. Go to the safety of Baird, and here comes Sheehan on the peel, and James Lowe wrapped up by Venter. Hands on it for a moment from the Warriors. They created it just in time. Here's Clarkson. Looking to use his power to get there, and a second effort from Clarkson, and he has got there. Thomas Clarkson in for the try. Leinster extending this lead, and the Warriors in trouble here.
Yeah, Clarkson's had a really good half. He's had 3 or 4 very good carries. He's scrummaged well against Jamie Batty. I just commented on that, but Ryan Baird off the top switch play that Glasgow obviously had seen it come. But look at Clarkson, he stays in the fight, gets his body low. You're entitled to make a reach for the line, which he does. That's a great try. Perfect timing as well.
Clock almost in the red. 15-point lead.
No, it's not easier, it's further away.
Glasgow Warriors, that would be in the circumstances of victory to get in 15 points down here.
Yeah, what a marker Leinster could lay here if they could get another try before the break.
Conan calls it on himself at the front. Ball is set, and this is Dan Sheehan territory. At that early try, Jordy Barrett joins in, Tommy O'Brien joins in. Dan Sheehan can see the line, and Dan Sheehan gets there again. It looked inevitable from the moment they got that little bit of momentum in the maul, Leinster. And Dan Sheehan, try scorer supreme, strikes again.
Well, I was going to say when he went over to the line, or he had a massive smile on his face, was almost in recognition of what was to come. But you got to execute, and they do that. Great setup initially by Leinster, good low body positions. Again, you see Jordy Barrett, Tommy O'Brien in there, but Dan Sheehan, he's just unstoppable from those positions. Here's another man who impresses everybody every week. That's a shoe-in at this stage to start the Test series for the Lions. 2 tries already under his belt today.
For James Lowe, just that incident that had him in the ear of Andre Piatti in the first half, just seemed to fire him up even more. Dan Sheehan bursting away on a hat-trick. Had a couple of those for club and country this season.
On the line, Glasgow, on the line, on the line.
The line beckoning for Leinster again. Porter and Penny providing the ballast behind the ball carrier.
Send the line.
Gibson Park for Jordy Barrett, who will not be denied, or will he?
No crowning goal.
Oh, knocked on, no grounding.
His goal line drop out.
Yeah, I think the call come in from the assistant referee there. Jordy Barrett just really backed his physicality, but appears as if he lost control of the ball, attempting to touch it down. Let's have a closer look here. Good hit initially. Yeah, he does lose it.
2 meters, please.
Shaping up to be his final game in his 4th season, with the Warriors heading to Bristol.
Guys, a 10.
Beaten in the Premiership playoffs by Bath in a encounter last night.
That's worse, going backwards.
Dan Sheehan, hat-trick against Ulster. Hat-trick in Rome for Ireland at the end of the Six Nations. Chasing another here after 2 in the first half. Gibson Park short. There, just put in a huge shift today for Leinster. Here is Sheehan. Great tackle to put him down by Jamie Dobie. Not often stopped back close to the line, Dan Sheehan.
Behind, guys.
Gibson Park, as Baird at first receiver. Goes further than that, and another outstanding pass, as was his for Sheehan's first try of the game, on the money from Jemison Gibson Park, and Jamie Osborne can celebrate again.
Yeah, great awareness there by Gibson Park. You had Ryan Baird and Dan Sheehan obviously attracting the attention of the Glasgow defenders. You would have thought they'd be the first choice, but Gibson Park spotted Osborne on the outside space. Just look at it here. He creeps up at the very last minute. Brilliant awareness from Gibson Park, and superb for Jamie Osborne just to put his hand up.
it goes. Snyman pressurising Jordan. Oh, Lowe, magnificent, and off he goes, James Lowe. Needs some support now, and has support there. Ryan Baird has covered every inch of grass at the Aviva today. Frawley, Prendergast on the move. Looking to work something here. Delayed the pass to Penny, back on the inside, and it's on here for Tommy O'Brien. He won't get there, but Frawley will. Leinster cutting loose.
Well, that's Leinster at their best. Sweeping across one side of the field to the other. Kieran Frawley hasn't seen a massive amount of game time this year, but reminds everybody he's only on the field a few minutes. Tommy O'Brien did really well to set it up for him. All that comes from, again, another poor kick from Glasgow, and James Lowe, another player who's been outstanding today, is working the air outstanding. Great support, Ryan Baird initially. Leinster keep it going. Just that inside pass. Unselfishly, Jack Conner, I think, could have scored it. Likewise, Tommy O'Brien, but great sweep and support by Kieran Frawley.
It's brilliant by Lowe in the air, but the problem for Glasgow is Kyle Steyn. He can't get beaten on the far side. He has to make sure that he's in a position to stop James Lowe if he doesn't win the ball in the air. And Leinster just punish him, ruthless by Leinster.
For the outgoing champions, they find themselves a late try here. Movement to the left, ball goes to the right. Jordan having to scramble on his hands and knees. Jamie Dobie digs it out. Here's Ewan Ferry. Dobie and Sutherland. First up hit, and it's Ryan Baird again.
Stop. Good.
Williamson grabbed by Slimani. Dobie testing that tight in Leinster defence, and he's in, Jamie Dobie. Lovely little fend, and in he goes. A 9th try of the season, an 8th in the URC. On a personal note, it's a good moment for him.
Yeah, and look, he's very dangerous around the fringes, and the fact that George Horne didn't have one of his best games, maybe the coaches will regret that selection, because the way Leinster defend with that rush defence, there often is opportunities in and around the ruck, and someone with his speed.
That, as we say, if it is to be the Bulls.
More.
G. Snyman once off the Bulls, right at the back of this, keeping an eye on Johnny Matthews at the back with ball in hand for the Warriors.
Use.
Dobie slings it out to Tui Pelotu, who again shows that ability. Magnificent from Tui Pelotu, and maybe fitting. He's missed most of the second half of the season, but just under the watchful eye of Andy Farrell and others here, that he himself finishes with a moment like that one.
Yeah, I just noticed Gavin Hastings in the stand there, obviously watching his son Adam. But this guy with 13 today, I wonder, does it become an option in that outside channel himself and Andy and Bundy Aki, as you mentioned, for the Lions?
Well, look, Don, he has the passing game and he has the pace as well, so they could be a really nice foil for each other. Both of them are pretty just carrying, giving you gain line, but he just is in such form. Like, in fairness, Glasgow being completely outplayed, but every time he's had the ball, he's stressed that Leinster defence, and you know, that's one of the times we spoke about earlier, the rush defence.
The Glasgow Warriors well beaten today.
16, stop.
Cummings
Use it.
has just gone down awkwardly there, and that would be a source of concern for the Lions. He had a big day today, Scott Cummings, in adversity.
No hands.
But it has been Leinster from the start. The work of Tommy O'Brien again here, clearing out Dodge.
Stop. Use.
Penalty to Leinster to finish with. We've hit the 80 minutes.
Yeah, I think at this stage, no surprise to see.
So there it is, the semi-final hoodoo of recent years broken, as Leinster take out the defending champions, and do so in style, to stand just 80 minutes away from a first trophy in 4 years. The Bulls and the Sharks will await the decider at Croke Park. That to be decided over the next few hours. But a flying start, the first of a couple of tries for Dan Sheehan. The response suggested we'd have a real game in our hands today when George Horne went over for his 14th try of the season. but from there, Donal, all Leinster.
Yeah, I was, and really impressed by Leinster today on both sides of the ball. Their set piece, excellent, scrum in particular, defence back to what we've expected earlier on in the season, but their capacity to convert opportunities into try. They were a bit dodgy in the opening 20 minutes, but I think this is a statement performance, one they badly needed, and I think has set them up perfectly for what's going to be a home final, regardless of who the opposition.
Yeah, confirming the full-time score, Leinster 37, the Glasgow Warriors 19 with that late flurry.
Good job, Dara, well done, and good job, Ryan Barrett. Congratulations. What a time to pull out a performance like that in a semi-final.
Look, we've played them twice before, as I alluded to in the press earlier in the week, and we couldn't take it for granted. They were champions last year, and you know, we want to win this tournament, so they had to come to our home patch and try to get through us, and we got the right side of the result.
Half a dozen tries, some brilliant scores, a real variety about your play, but I'm sure when all is said and done, the hard work, the aggression, the energy might be as pleasing as anything.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the physical nature of someone is going to open up the door to unlock everything. So we prided ourselves on today was how physical we could be, because we know Glasgow are a great team. You know, a lot of lions in that team. So we were, we knew if we brought the physicality to the game, we'd unlock it.
Where did that performance come from this week mentally? What was the talk in camp? Because there was a lot of pressure outside.
Was there? I wouldn't know. I don't watch the media. Again, as I said, we want to win this tournament. You got to show up. If you don't show up, you lose and you're out. So it was as simple as that. Like I was telling myself this morning, I don't have a decision to make today. I have to turn up. We needed to win.
You certainly did that. Congratulations. Best of luck next week in the final.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This is the field within the Fortress Loftus Versfeld, home to the team whose glories are graffiti on the bricks of South African rugby history. Today the Giants of Gauteng seek to douse Durbanite determination in the penultimate match of the Vodacom URC. Featuring for the first time in a semi-final, the Hollywood Bet Sharks travel to Tshwane to take on the two-time silver medalists, the Vodacom Bulls. On your screen right now, the mighty Bulls who finished second on the log. And all Springbok front row, although Grabelaar has not made the most recent squad. Cameron Hanekom named the Next Gen Award of URC's fourth season, also in the Elite 15 of this competition. David Creel will have a point to prove at outside centre, not making that book squad either. Sebastian de Klerk has been lethal this season, and Buddy LaRue is the general in the number 15 jersey. And here are the Sharks travelling from Durban, looking to knock over the Bulls and make their way to the final. And all Springbok front row there, Oxenchair, Mbanambi and Koch, all World Cup winners. Sia Kolisi will captain the side in the absence of Eben Etzebeth. The two Hendrickse brothers start in 9 and 10, and in the number 9 it's nudge nudge wink wink Jaden Hendrickse. Andre Esterhazen has been utterly dominant throughout the season, and his partner today, Lucanio Am, in the outside centre position, is back in the Springbok squad once more. Plenty of firepower off the bench for the side that went the distance and then some against Munster. 100 minutes of rugby plus a penalty shootout to decide that quarter-final and to see the Sharks into their first ever semi. No Eben Etzebeth, no Jason Jenkins, plenty of punch missing there for the side from KwaZulu-Natal. All the same, they are led by the triumphant two-time Rugby World Cup winning captain, Siamthando Kolisi, and with plenty of talent all over the field, including, of course, the strike master, Fakazole Mapimpi. Now Sia Kolisi leads his side onto the fearsome Loftus Versfeld field. My partner in crime this evening is Layla Harrison, fresh from the build-up. Layla, this is an absolutely gargantuan occasion.
Well, you have to just take a moment to feel the energy at the Fortress. It is sweet Caroline galore, and wanting to upset the home crowd, those 15 men. Rowan Nortje and his gentlemen are going to have to look to try and use all of the tools in their toolbox tonight. A team coming in with the most number of points scored up until this point, 584, and they will be hoping that tonight is not the night where that ends. They want to travel to Dublin and make it count.
Here come the Bulls onto home ground in the Jacaranda City. What a captain he has become, an unlikely hero of the Vodacom Bulls who made his way to the green and gold and already has a decorated career with plenty lying ahead. Jan Hendrik Wessels, another player selected in that Elite 15, along with his prop partner Wilco Low, in a Bull season which has been simply spectacular. There is Jaden Hendrickson, man who raised temperatures all around the world of rugby, for no good reason really, just having some good fun in a good victory. Leila, do you dare to make a call here this evening?
Jordan, which way, mate?
I'll tell you my prediction at half-time, Paul Stubbs. It is going to be close. But I think we're going to see some enjoyable rugby. Something about playing at Loftus just ups the energy from the Hollywood Bet Sharks a little bit more.
We don't know what's coming up, but if I could make my order, 4 tries apiece at the end of 80 minutes. Scores level, we go to extra time, 10 minutes each way, 2 extra tries for each side. We go to a penalty shootout, and I'll take that with your finest Cabernet Sauvignon, I think. Jordan Hendrickson launches it to get this semi-final underway. Ruan Norkia spills, and we are on our way. Sebastian de Klerk on his way down the touchline. Cuts back in, past Fussy, brought down by Jaden Hendrickson. Good aggressive work at the breakdown by the Bulls. Now Validaroo looks to run the show early on. The kick is for Kanan Moody. Just can't hold on.
Well, you've got to get the mechanics right of your scrum first. No hit. You've got to drive all 8. You probably imagine that they are missing the weight advantage that Evan Etzebeth as well as Jason Jenkins bring to their scrum, the stability that those lock partners bring behind those front rowers. You've got a Quivers Visser, van Heerden, very stable behind their front pack. So the communication between Jaden Hendrickson and his brother or Andre Essays is very important.
It's a blitz at scrum time from the Vodacom Bulls. A heel against the head. They spread it wide. Oh, Ethan Hooker's turned the tables on them.
No offense, just going backwards. No offense, scrum's just going backwards. Turnover was good. Yeah, mate.
Well, they might not be getting this way at scrum time, but Ethan Hooker reading them like a book.
Yeah. Okay. Just push Ruan away. Don't need Ruan.
Just checking the offside
checking
line.
Back line offside, right?
Yeah.
There's no offence at the scrum.
No.
Because the scrum's just going backwards, and then the ball came out.
So remember, you've got to stay on side. Scrum's going backwards, no one's retreating.
Yeah. So the back line comes up early, have a decision. So it's going to be a no try. It's going to be a no try. The back line is all offside.
That's exactly the call.
Back line
offside at scrum time. So a dominant ball scrum means you've got to keep your 10, your 5 meters off of your scrum, so you've got to keep retreating backwards.
15 fellas.
Changing the target altogether. Ambrose Papier is rapid. He's through the gap. Floats one over the top for Sebastian de Klerk. He's got support. De Klerk cuts in. De Klerk is over!
Well, from one end to the other, a steal by Vincent Chituka that doesn't work off, but look how no one's gone. Immediately stood off to Jordan Hendrickson, which created that large gaping gap for Ambrose Papier to go through. Should never be allowed this much space. Sebastian de Klerk, he lines up his defenders, gets off the left, comes back onto the right. Lukhanyo corner flagging, over tracking completely, steps back on that inside shoulder. And Sebastian de Klerk, who almost had a try scored against him, gets one of his own.
Welcome back. Johan Goosen, miraculous recovery from a knee injury to be here this evening. And the Vodacom Bulls fly half adds the extra 2. It's 7 points to 0 to the home side. Hendrickse feeds the scrum. Things looking far better for the Sharks. They've made some adjustments and they were desperately needed. Esterhuizen.
Offside. That's what the rock take.
Yeah, Johan Goosen jumping the gun, playing Jaden Hendrickse. Not allowed to play the 9 around the ruck. Meter around the ruck. You've got to allow the 9 to make their pass.
Spent a couple of weeks on the treatment table after a small intervention on his knee injury.
That's almost a 60-meter kick for Jaden Hendrickse, but it is up in the high felt altitude. Always matters.
They've written that above the entry to the tunnel. Mocked by eventual champions Glasgow Warriors last year. Jordan Hendrickse. He's got the legs for this. Strikes it clean. But sends it wide.
22.
A warning shot from Hendrickse.
The scary thing would be the distance that he had extra on that kick too.
Ambrose Papier feeds the dominant Vodacom Bulls scrum. They struggle to get go forward now. And Vali Leroux switch play with de Klerk. He finds a cold shoulder waiting for him this time. Papier to Marcel Coetzee. The Sharks have weathered the storm somewhat. Can the Bulls put another puncher in this defensive line? Harold Foster rolls, presents, and now Marcel Coetzee beats a couple of tackles. Jan Hendrik Wessels with the offload in confidence to Grobbelaar. Papier sends it to his captain Norkier. They're within striking distance now. The Sharks are over the ball and they've turned it over. Tenacious work on the ground from the Durbanites. And indeed, it is Chituka. Jaden Hendrickse slips as he kicks. And Sebastian de Klerk is going to go for the cross kick. Waiting for it is Caden Mooney. The Caden is in. It's an absolute belter of a try.
Yeah, Happy's onside. Yeah.
How, where, what, why? The turnover. Brilliant. Jaden Hendrickse with the slip. Look at the awareness of space from Sebastian de Klerk. Picks it up, immediately looks out, gets caught in two minds. Does Makazole Mapimpi whether to track back, try and get under the ball, or whether to make the tackle. Decision made far too late. And Kanan Moody is going to get the sitter every single time.
We've been so close to this URC trophy on a number of occasions. Played in 2 out of 3 finals, looking to make it 3 out of 4. Yet to touch that silverware. They will not fear heading over to Leinster to take on a side that they've beaten many times before. Over the top, Sebastian de Klerk on the chase. What a start to the game that man is having. Apelele Fassi hunted behind the game line. The Bulls come storming in. Jaden Hendrickse finds the ball beautifully presented to him. Esterhuizen with the perfect pass over the top for Lukanyoam. Cuts back in, sets the ruck. Mapimpi moves it quickly. Vincent Koch. Mapimpi taking the initiative just as he did in the quarterfinal, making meters galore, the most in the round. Oh, Corneral with a strong run, brought down by Marcel Coetzee. An advantage being played to the Sharks. More skullduggery from Jaden Hendrickse. What being a scrum off's all about. Hendrickse double dummy. He finds Lukanyoam. Good hands from the Sharks here. Chituka feeds it off to Mbanambi. They know they can try something fancy here with the advantage rating. Just can't pull it off.
Yeah, the attacking energy from the Hollywood Bay Sharks have to come into play now.
Easy meet for the number 10, and the Sharks are on the board. Grobbelaar just hesitating there, and it's gone wrong for the Bulls, and then it goes wrong for the Sharks. The Bulls take it in. The Grobbelaar pops one over the top. Kanan Moody is after this. Pressure on Mapimpi, deals with that like a professional. Mapimpi's carving them up straight down the center, pops it away to Fassi. He's lost control in the tackle there, but played on the ground. Yes, right hand. Oh, Harold Foster will see a card.
That's going to be the 17th yellow card for the Vodacom Bulls this season. Harold Foster.
I think Harold Foster may be wearing Sia Khaleesi's signature boots. Behind enemy lines. Jordan Hendrickson to make it a 6-point game. Hendrickson sends it wide. Great connection, wrong direction, and a quizzical look from the Sharks fans.
Don't step.
5 tries for Johan Grobbelaar, one of those players not invited to the Springbok camp. Trying to prove a point tonight. Feeds the front of the line out, finds Kobus Visa, and the Bulls try to set that belligerent rolling maul, which has been so successful for them this season. The Sharks give away another penalty advantage, and the Bulls have a free play. They set the ruck. Here's Papier. Norkier charging around the corner. Papier away to low. Rare carry for the big tight head prop. Papier with a pop play to Kobus Visa. Stopped initially, he shakes off those defenders and crosses the gain line. Again, another penalty to the Bulls.
Send back on the ball. You're on the ball first, send back on the ball.
There's just far too many penalties being conceded by the Hollywood Bet Sharks at the moment. Got to remember they are a player up.
Goosen eating up all the seconds he can. Johan Goosen adds another 3 points to the tally for the Vodacom Bulls. They move on to 15 to the 3 points of the Sharks. Hendrickson sends it in the same direction that he has, slightly shorter this time. Taken by Cornerall at 2.03 meters, reaching up and snatching that one out of the Tswane sky. Oxenchair at first receiver, Bongi and Banambi punching holes. Hendrickson, Fassi to Chituka. Just outside the strike zone, and continuing to monopolize possession in this first half in spite of the point scoring of the Bulls. Great tackle on Chair. Cameron Hanekom latching him low. Marcel Coetzee adding his weight to the situation. And Sia Khaleesi bouncing up off the ground. Oh my goodness gracious.
No, he's gone above the horizontal, number 8.
No questions asked. Yellow card shown to Cameron Hanekom.
And that's another one. Came in with 16 yellow cards, got a 17th against Harold Foster, now an 18th in the entire season. Discipline. It's just been the biggest problem.
Harold Foster back on the field. There are 14 players on for the Bulls. This time it is Emil van Heerden who is the target, and the Sharks set the rolling maul. The Sharks find some joy as well, pumping the legs here. Khaleesi comes to join. Oh, it looked like Andrew Brace was getting ready to run into the sticks there. He calls the penalty advantage. Sees that the space is shutting down outside him. Gets creative in the midfield. Here's Ethan Hooker. Harold Foster back on the field, makes the tackle. The Bulls are taking their chances, and the Irish referee reaches into his pocket again. Drama at Loftus Versfeld. Yellow cards galore.
Who's the new captain? Front out. 10 minutes.
Getting involved there. They're just taking Visa Chituka out.
Manambi feeds it to Emil van Heerden. Now is the time for the Hollywood Bet Sharks. They can't keep their feet. He gets up and goes again to Manambi. The Sharks with the pick and go. Can they make it good this time? Chituka is next up. Charges for the line. Oxenchair protects, picks and goes. He's making meters, flipped over.
On the line, clearly held up on the line.
Oh, that's a big call. Half time comes about for the Vodacom Bulls, and they survive again. Brilliant work from the home side, shutting down the Sharks as they try for their first try of the half. But as it stands, there's still 12 points between the teams. No number 8 for the Bulls, still down to 13 players to the 15 of the Sharks. Can they capitalize eventually? Andre Esterhazen runs straight and true into Harold Forster, who completes his tackle. Vincent Koch continues his hard work with ball in hand this evening. Slower ball for Hendrickse. Here's Manu Chituka with the fresh legs. They're into the Bulls 22. Van Heerden. The Bulls defensive line stays strong. Hendrickse to Esterhazen. Being well marshaled by the Bulls this evening. Grobbelaar shut down from his attempted turnover. Vincent Chituka takes it to the line, offloads, trying to get over the ball. Creel couldn't get his hands on. Sends it to Nsher, dipping ball to the ankles of the front ranker. Bongi Mbonambi now feeds it outside to Maka Zalema PNP. The Sharks are in the corner.
Oh, what a man who carries the side on his shoulders. Makazola Mapimpi. It was quick ball. They had to fill the width of the field. The front rankers getting some handling skills in. Then it was all about the mismatch. Mapimpi eyeing Jan-Hendrik Wessels, trying to come over and make the tackle. Realize he's going to have the pace on him every single day.
Huge line out for the Durbanites. Bongi Mbonambi calling an audible. Oxenchair comes in for the communication. Chituka at the 2-ball. The Sharks set them all, but they pop it to Mbonambi on the loop. Esterhazen is being hunted today. Corvus Visa makes a crucial hit. Here's Van Heerden on the 5-meter line. The Sharks, they manage to protect the ball. Jaden Hendrickse. Esterhazen drops his shoulder, but they come for him again. Jaden Hendrickse off to Vincent Chituka. The Bulls have stood strong every time that the Sharks have muscled up. Oxenchair, head down, powering forward. Here's Van Heerden across the 5-meter line now. Vincent Koch goes on his own. None of the Bulls can get their hands on that ball. Jaden Hendrickse sends it wide this time. Jordan Hendrickse pops it over the top. Red hot danger on the outside. Ethan Hooker scores for the Sharks.
Committed on the pass, mate.
Well, is it a match if that man does not score a try? The line break machine, but they needed to go wide. Staying close was just not working out for them. The footwork, the vision, the spreading of a ball that beats a defender every single time. Ethan Hooker. We said how dangerous they are when they have all the momentum on their side.
Jaden Hendrickse slips as he kicks, just like his brother did, and another one goes wide for the Sharks. How much might these kicks cost them come the end of this match? Stoic work from the Sharks at scrum time after suffering so greatly in the first half. Papier plays it away to Forster. Not many attacking opportunities for the Bulls recently since they've started losing players to the sin bin. Here is their chance to make another mark on this match. They have an advantage immediately. Papier off to Marcel Coetzee. Does well to beat the first defender.
17.
And fight for that gain line. Henry Jacobs fights to get him back. Keegan Johannes gets it away. Compromised run for Forster. He's done well.
Going nowhere. $17, never onside.
It looks like the call went against him to Tukum for being offside at the bottom of that ruck.
What an intense match to step onto the field and try to get up to the pace of the game. Nkunu failing on that occasion, and Keegan Johannes. As the whole of Loftus-Versfeld watching him. Taking over the duties from Johan Goosen. With ease, 3 points to the Bulls, and the flags are waving in Swane again. The hero of Durban last weekend, the young halfback Bradley Davids, who kicked the winning kick in that penalty shootout that brought the Sharks here today. A Sharks side that has beaten the Bulls twice this season. One of those times right here at Loftus Versfeld. Corbus beats us on the run. The support on the inside. The try is there for David Creel.
David Creel, the man that gets the points, but this is Ambrose Papier magic again. Spotting the space, getting the offload to Corbus Visa, gets a couple kilometers on his legs, the inside pass, pinpoint perfection to David Creel. He's got the pace, but the awareness from Ambrose Papier to start that movement.
15.
Extending their lead right after we spoke about what could be.
Five.
Taking Johannes to add the extra 2. Pressure on him. He strikes it clean and down the center. 7 points on the board for the Bulls, and they could be telling. Now or never for the Sharks. The contested line-out time almost successful from the Bulls. Andre Esterhazen able to pick up the scraps and charge forward unbridled. Bradley David, slow ball for the Sharks. Less than 3 minutes to play now. It is absolutely now or never. Davids breaks away. The Bulls' defensive line continues to charge forward, as does Pepsi Buthelezi. Vincent Chituka still has the energy, as does Marcel Coetzee.
Tackle!
Here's Manu, his brother. David's looking for quick ball, slowed down. Not even slightly, significantly. The final 2 minutes beckon now. Vincent Chituka with a tired run from the flanker. David's away to Pepsi Buthelezi across the game line. Here's Davids again. They've got numbers to the outside. Popped one over the top of his head, but it's gone forward. Much to the chagrin of those in black and white tonight. And surely you can put a fork in them, because they're done out here. The energy in here tonight is something special. If you want to know what rugby feels like, you should have bought a ticket to Loftus Versfeld tonight. No contest, no worries. J.F. Van Heerden takes it in. Van Staden fires back, and the Bulls are headed to the final. The fireworks touch the sky, and the Vodacom Bulls have secured their spot in the final fixture of the Vodacom URC yet again. For the 3rd time in 4 times of asking, they have almost touched the sky on so many occasions. Can they now travel to Ireland and take on Leinster to get their hands on that trophy, which has been so elusive? This transfixing semi-final comes to a conclusion with the Sharks having given every ounce of their energy here today in an effort to make it to the final in their first ever appearance in the semi-finals. But with their smorgasbord of Springboks, they could not overcome the power and the belligerence of the Bulls. John Plumtree devastated. The side which felt joy in the form of Challenge Cup victory last season, which earned them a spot in the Champions Cup. This time they finished in the top 8. They finished 14th last season. This time around they finished 2nd, so they are on an upward trajectory. Or rather in 3rd, it was the Bulls that finished 2nd. And as such, they would have hosted the final should the Glasgow Warriors have overcome Leinster, but they did not. And now we get to witness a breathtaking final fixture in Ireland, outside of South Africa for the first time in this fresh-faced competition. After all the drama in Durban just last weekend, the Sharks left disappointed this time around. But there will be a South African side in the final to take on Leinster. It is the Vodacom Bulls who are victorious, 25 points to 13 over the game Hollywood Bets Sharks at the conclusion of the match here in Gauteng.
Well, joining me now, Vodacom man of the match, Sebastian de Klerk. Sebastian, it must have been brutal out there.
Yeah, I have to say it was quite a physical battle. I mean, we expected that from them. Two South African teams going up in the semis. I mean, it was lovely. We enjoyed it a lot, yeah.
It could have been any one of you 4 wingers. You guys were absolutely sensational. Makazole, Itanuka, Caden Moody was good in the air. Eventually, you got it. You must be proud.
No, extremely proud. I mean, I've learned so much from Kanan and Kurtley when he was still here. And I have to say we're very privileged as a union, having great wingers and the coaches helping us a lot. And it's nice to compare yourself to the best of the world. So, yeah, very happy with that.
Clearly, it was very physical out there, but the intensity of the game, when the Sharks put it to you guys, I mean, they really upped the game, the tempo. How difficult was it?
No, I mean, extremely difficult. They're a very quality side, very physical, but I mean, that's why we have warriors like our captain here. You can see how he looks, just never stops, and that motivates you, and you get energy from that. So, yeah, lovely.